mess up your script.
There you go. I don't have a script. It is a pleasure to be here. No, it is an honor to be here. It is an honor to speak on behalf of children, family members, anyone who struggles with mental health. My name is Hollie LaVallie. I think I'm a mom first. I'm a friend to many. I am a community member. I'm a marketer. I love food. I'm a cancer survivor. Woo! But what I am more than anything is an advocate for my daughters and mental health. I'm here tonight not because I received help from Nexus. I'm here tonight because I actually didn't. Because I didn't know that it existed. And my family was in crisis. And it was years after our crisis that my dear friend Jeannie introduced me to the Nexus organization. Interestingly enough, Girard Nexus in Austin, Minnesota, my hometown where I've lived for 20 years. Girard is 3 exits down from my home. And I didn't know it was there. The gap in mental health is real. It's not a buzzword. It's a painful reality for many families, including my own. Trying to find help when you're in crisis is probably the scariest thing you can experience. As an adult, when you're in crisis, you know where to go. As an adult who has a child in crisis, it's an experience I would wish upon no one. As an adult, you feel hopeless, you feel isolated, you feel like you're failing your child. So I'd like to take you to a moment. The year was 2015. It was December, about this time of year. It was a Saturday morning and it was 9 a.m. and my 2 daughters, Avery, who is now 20, she was 10 at the time, and Autumn, who is, was she 15, going on 18, was about 5 at the time. And it was a Saturday morning, and Autumn was going to Park and Rec basketball, right? So we were like getting her all ready, and we were walking out the door, and I was like, Avery, unhitch the plow. Let's go, right? Come on. And she wasn't coming. She wasn't coming. And I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. And I walked into Avery's bedroom to find my 10-year-old in crisis. A 10-year-old who was struggling. A 10-year-old who was hopeless. A 10-year-old who was in such crisis, she felt like not living was a good choice. In that moment, I will tell you I'm a pretty smart gal. I kind of got my stuff together, generally speaking. I have a wonderful host of friends. I have a deep faith. I have an employer, many employers that have been wonderful to me. And not only was my daughter in crisis, I went into crisis. I did what most people do. They call their mom. It's the first thing you do, right? Call your mom. So I called my mom and I said, Mom, I was so fortunate. She only lived a couple blocks away. I said, Mom, please, 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 I need you to come over and grab Sandy. Sandy's my cousin, right? I was like, grab Sandy. She's got to take Autumn to basketball. I got to get Autumn out of the house. So she did, and my mom came over, and Sandy came over, and Sandy grabbed Autumn. They went off to basketball, and my mom sat with Avery, sat on Avery, because she was in crisis, and we were trying to control, right? We were trying to stabilize. And I went into the kitchen, and I would, like I said, I would consider myself pretty resourceful, and I started Googling. What do you do when your child is in crisis? What do you do? I don't know. I didn't know. And what the Google told me was take your child to the ER. So I did. We packed up and we drove to the ER. We got to the ER, and in that moment, I learned a term that I wish I would never have learned. We went through a series of tests and examinations, and it became clear that Avery needed stabilization. So stabilization means that we needed to find inpatient care. and I learned the term bed. I learned the term bed. And you might be thinking, what? What does that matter? Miss LaVallie, there are no beds available for your daughter. What? No. What do you mean? I'll pay for anything. What do you mean? There are no beds for my daughter. What do you mean? There are no beds. There are no beds in Minnesota. There are no beds in Iowa. The nearest bed we can find is way up in North Dakota. Miss LaVallie, we've gone ahead and we've reserved that bed for Avery. And I was like, okay, let's go. Let's get this going, right? We got to get this going because I'm here to solve. So then we went through a series of about 3 more hours where you go through stabilization metrics, and I start learning things about beds and availability. And I believe the good Lord put a good whisper on me, and a bed opened up in Anoka. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we'll take it, please. Like, reserve it. How do you reserve it? Is there an app for that? There's not. And what I learned when I went in is I became part of a program then. I learned about mental health. We went into inpatient care. I stayed at my dear friend Betsy's house, who lives up here. We went into inpatient care for 2 weeks. We then went into outpatient care for 6 months. We then went into 18 months of ongoing critical care. Therapy's real, therapy's amazing, and I am so grateful. But what I will tell you is navigating that was a full-time job. Navigating that alone, I can't imagine. So when I think about the things that I've been blessed with, I think, I can't imagine if I was a mom with 2 kids, maybe in an inner city, that worked 4 jobs, didn't know how to advocate for myself, maybe had less experiences, less connection, and less education. I don't know how any parent could do it. The system is hard, and it is under-resourced. I experienced it firsthand. Miss LaVallie, there are no beds. There are no beds. What? How can there not be beds? How can there not be beds? So if Avery, my oldest, who is a sophomore at the College of St. Benedict, rocking it, yep. What she would say is that my story is my story and your story is your story, and don't tell my story, right? Because I taught her good, right? But what she would say is that the one thing that is universal is that when you have a family member, a friend, or a child in crisis, we need to do better for them. So Avery has 2 tattoos. Oh my gosh, I know, cringe, right? I was like, she told me she had 2 tattoos, but then she justified it because she knew she had to. Because I was like, what? She said, Mom, I have 2 tattoos, but it's okay because they mean something, and I can totally cover them so I can totally get a job when I graduate. Okay, good. Okay, phew. So, all right, I'm momming all right. I'm doing all right. So the first tattoo that she has it right here. And it says, I am lovable, I am capable. And underneath it says, beloved. She told me she has that tattoo because she knows she is loved and she knows she is worthwhile. The second one is what she learned from the tools that she got in the programs that, like Nexus, provided for her. She learned that she's capable. She's capable on her own, and she's capable to create the world that she wants. Beloved is because there is no night that my children go to bed without knowing that they are more loved no matter where they are in this world. The second tattoo she has sits right here behind her ear, and it is a semicolon. For those of you who don't know, a semicolon is used when an author could choose to end a sentence, but chooses not to. For mental health, It is a depiction of taking a breath to continue your life. So I'll leave you with this thought tonight. Mental health looks different for everyone. There are big challenges, there are small challenges, but there are always challenges. My thought to you tonight is tonight your semicolon? Is this the pause that we need to take as a community that supports mental health? Is this a pause so someone doesn't have a period and that they can continue their sentence? My ask to you tonight is dig deep into your hearts and let's create more semicolons. Thank you.